we doing, folks? This is the Pop Music Freak. I am back with another Song Facts Countdown video. I'm doing a countdown of my 1,000 favorite songs of all time. We're at number 874. It was the last big hit for Paul McCartney and Wings, but he kind of released it just as a solo record, so it's kind of an awkward situation. The original single was just Paul McCartney. But on the B side, he had done a version with Wings, and that was the version that got to number one. I'm talking about Paul McCartney and Coming Up. 1980. Officially, he was still Paul McCartney and Wings, but for this record, he had put it out as just Paul McCartney. But what happened is the studio version of the song, he originally put that out as the A side, and it just was not really catching on. But DJs started playing the live version on the B-side and felt it was just light years better. And they were right. So let me give you the song facts and tell you more about this song. Coming Up is a song written and performed by English musician Paul McCartney, released as the opening track on his 1980 solo album, McCartney 2. Like other songs on the album, his song has a synthesized sound, featuring sped-up vocals created by using a Verispeed tape machine. McCartney played all the instruments. The single was a hit in Britain, peaking at number 2 on the singles chart. In the United States and Canada, the live version of the song performed by Paul McCartney and Wings in Glasgow the year before, released as the B-side to the single, saw much greater success. In a Rolling Stone interview, McCartney explained how the song came about. Originally cut it on my farm in Scotland. I went into the studio each day and just started with a drum track. Then I built it up bit by bit without any idea of how the song was going to turn out. After laying down the drum track, I added guitars and bass, building up the backing track. Then I thought, well, okay, what am I going to do for the voice? I was working with a Verispeed machine with which you can speed up your voice or take it down a little bit. That's how the voice sound came about. John Lennon described Coming Up as a good piece of work, and it prompted him to return to the recording in 1980. After hearing it on the radio for the first time, Lennon reportedly stated, "F a pig, it's Paul." Lennon later stated his preference for the studio version over the live version that was released as a single. "I thought that Coming Up was great, and I liked the freak version that he made in his barn better than the live Glasgow one. If I had been with him, I would have said that's the one too. And I thought that the record company had a nerve changing it around on him. And I know what they mean. They want to hear the real guy singing, but I like the freaky one." Cashbox called it an unusually produced but cute track. Alright, as for the live version, it's recorded in Glasgow, Scotland, December 17th, 1979 by Wings during their tour of the UK. An edited version from the performance was included as one of 2 songs on the B-side. The other song on the B-side was Lunchbox/Odd Socks, a Wings song that dated back to Venus and Mars in 1975. Both songs were credited to Paul McCartney and Wings. Columbia Records wanted to put the live version on McCartney too, but McCartney resisted the change, wanting to keep it a solo album. Instead, a one-sided 7-inch white label promotional copy of the Wings version was included with the album in North America. Coming Up Live at Glasgow has since appeared on the U.S. versions of McCartney compilations All the Best and Wingspan's Hits in History, while the solo studio version is included on UK and international releases. The full-length version of the song with an additional verse from the 1979 Glasgow show was finally released as a bonus track on the Paul McCartney Archive Collection reissue of McCartney 2 in 2011. A different live Wings recording of Coming Up appears on the album Concert for the People of Kampuchea, which was also recorded in 1979. Now, music video for Coming Up, directed by Keith McMillan, it features Paul McCartney playing 10 roles: himself, 2 guitarists, a bassist, a drummer, a keyboard player, and 4 saxophone players, and Linda McCartney playing 2, 1 female backing singer and 1 male backing singer. The band identified as the Plastic Macs on a drum kit, an homage to Lennon's conceptual Plastic Ono band, features Paul and Linda's imitations of various rock musicians' stereotypes, as well as a few identifiable musicians. In his audio commentary on the 2007 video collection The McCartney Years, McCartney identified characters that were impersonators of specific artists. Hank Marvin, guitarist from The Shadows, Ron Mayo of Sparks on keyboards, a Beatlemania era version of himself playing bass, and a drummer vaguely inspired by John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. Others, such as authors Fred Bronson and Kenneth Womack, have suggested that there are other identifiable impersonators in the video, such as Andy McKay, Frank Zappa, and Buddy Holly. McCartney said the other roles were simply comic relief. The video premiered on the UK on the Kenny Everett Show on April 14th, 1980, and in the US on Saturday Night Live on May 17th, 1980. Chart performance. In the UK, the single was an immediate hit, reaching number 2 in its third week on the charts. In the US, Columbia Records promoted the live version, which subsequently received more airplay than the studio version. McCartney was unaware of Columbia's move. Otherwise, he might have pushed for the A-side, which he thought was a stronger version. An executive from Columbia Records explained the switch by stating Americans like the sound of Paul McCartney's real voice. The live version ended up reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was certified gold by the RIAA for sales of over 1 million copies. Although the live version received much more airplay and was considered to be the hit, Billboard listed the A-side on the Hot 100 for the first 12 weeks of the chart, including 3 weeks at number 1, before switching to the more popular B-side for the remaining 9 weeks on the chart. So yes, it spent 3 weeks at number 1, was the B-side still, but they kind of didn't flip it over, as they've done in the past with other examples, such as John Denver's I'm Sorry being flipped over to Calypso once I'm Sorry fell out of number 1, and many other examples from the late 60s. Let me go over the weekly charts. In Cashbox, it reached number 2. In the UK, it reached number 2. New Zealand, number 2. Australia, number 2. In Canada's RPM 100 singles chart hit number 1. The US Adult Contemporary chart hit number 48. Year-end charts. Billboard rated it number 7 for 1980. In Canada, it ranked number 11 for the year. In New Zealand, number 12. In Australia, number 22. And in Italy, it was number 40 for the year 1980. Certifications, certified gold in the US for 1 million copies. So, let's see. As we look at instrumentation, who played on what on the studio version, as we mentioned, Paul McCartney played everything, sang lead, and did everything. No one else did anything. On the live version, you had Paul playing bass and lead vocal, Linda keyboards and vocals, Denny Lane guitar and vocals, Lawrence Juber on guitar, Steve Holley on drums, Tony Dorsey on trombone, Thaddeus Richard on saxophone, Howie Casey on saxophone, and Steve Howard on trumpets. So that is pretty much it. Those are the song facts I have for coming up by Paul McCartney / Paul McCartney with Wings, live, studio, whatever. It is a good song. Though me personally, I thought the studio version was garbage. I'm sorry. There's other great songs by Paul McCartney on the list, as you know. There's a lot of great songs on my list by him. But I thought this was an experiment in just, craziness. In England they loved it, but in the USA that's as was said by the critics, that's not the Paul McCartney we know. We want the Paul McCartney that was on a hot streak for a whole decade. That's who we want to hear. So the live version was perfect. I thought it was great. I thought it was just, one of his better songs. Really was. Studio version was crap. That's how I feel. Take it or leave it. All right. Anyway, so I hope you like the video. I hope you share it. I'm going to post a link to the video here. I got to see what's available. I'm not sure if he has a live version up or he has a studio version. Maybe I might just put both up just so you see the difference for those of you that may not be as aware of the song as others. All right. So I'm going to post the link. I'm going to post the bell here, the bell in my description. Hit that bell. You'll find out when I'm coming out with other videos. Easy to find. I'll tell you, there's definitely been an issue with a lot of my Facebook followers. And thank you, people, for being out there. I post videos to different groups depending on the subject matter. If it's a 70s song, I'm posting it to 70s groups, but I'm not posting it to 80s groups. So what's happening is people are missing out on a lot of stuff they might like to see. So what I'm going to do, solve that issue, I don't know. I mean, I put them up on my main page. Friend me on Facebook. I don't mind. I need friends. I don't have enough in real life. All right. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I wish you all peace and love.